All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making the plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. Great eye in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so type the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
Hello and welcome to this Tuesday evening Jock Talk on the ASAP network. I am joined once again by my two college rubes. First off, we got Jay. How you doing today, bud?
What's going on, everybody? I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
All
Let's
right.
kick off another episode. A lot of stuff happened this week.
Yes, there was. And then we also got my man Trey. Trey, how you doing, bud?
I've been better. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it. A lot of my chest, man. A lot of my chest.
Yes. But before we get into it, I do want to shout out to my mom. Happy birthday. Love you, Mom. So, all right. Let's get into it. First off, let's pay some bills. Let's go to Misty Meadows. Nate, if you got that, please. All right, Misty Meadows in Bandon, Oregon. They make homemade jams, barbecue sauce, hot sauce, I believe ketchups, anything. Find them on Facebook at Misty Meadows and just give them a call, place an order. They'll deliver wherever you live. So check them out. Also, we got our free t-shirt ad. Trey, how can they get a free t-shirt?
Basically, all you got to do is watch our show, comment, be a part of our show or any show here on the All Sports All Play Network. The most comments at the end of the month will get a free t-shirt.
And if they don't like to comment, but they still want a shirt, how can they do it, Trey?
If you don't want to be part of the show, if you're too shy, if you don't want to be, you just want to watch and sit back and eat popcorn and watch us, hit up any analyst that you like, who your favorite analyst is. I don't care. Any one of us on any one of your favorite ASAP Network shows. Just contact one of us. We'll be more than happy to send it to you for $14.95 plus shipping and handling, and you can get yourself that awesome t-shirt.
All right. Jay, if they like our shows, but they want to know how to get them doing the podcast, we got sponsored by Anchor. Tell us a little bit about Anchor, Jay.
At one point, I was just like you, so I had to figure it out as well. And I found Anchor. They have all the tools you need, edit, put it right there in front of you. It's a great app. It's free. They put it on all the major distribution apps as well. So try out Anchor.
All right. And then our last sponsor, Black Market Toffee. You can find them on Facebook also at Black Market Toffee. They make handcrafted small batches of toffee. No corn syrups or fillers. They got the perfect delight crunch. Doesn't never stick to your mouth. And they always say that, you're going to have to hide it, not just from your friends, your family, but also yourself. So Black Market Toffee, you can check them out too. So, all right, guys, let's get into it. Monday night, the big game. Trey, I know you got a big rant. We'll save it. Jay, let's break it down first, and then we'll give Trey the floor.
I'm not gonna break it down. I'm gonna talk about it because Trey's gonna break it down. He's gonna dissect it because exactly what I said was gonna happen this playoffs happened. Exactly what I said. The Clemson Ohio State game, I thought it was gonna be a good game. The Notre Dame game was going to be a blowout. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way around what we saw. Period. Ohio State didn't have enough as good as the team that you kept saying about the eye test, as good as the team that they looked like, they didn't have enough tests this year. Michigan State sucked. They didn't play Michigan,
which sucked. They didn't win a game all year.
You know what I'm saying? Northwestern their defense was good, but they had no offense. They had no squabbles. So, once they got up to Alabama, and this is what I was saying too, like Ohio State, there wasn't enough footage to really just look at them and scout them. So that first round, it was new almost. Going against Alabama ain't got to scout you. You got to scout Alabama. Their offense is ridiculous, and they have a solid defense. So if you can't shut their offense down, they're gonna hold you. They're gonna hold you. If you can't slow that offense down, it's a wrap. And it's been like that. Because even the years they don't really have an offense, they'll have just a running game. They'll have just a management. They're gonna slow you down. It's up to you to slow them down.
Yeah, I kind of shocked on the score. I didn't get to see much of it. I probably saw just about over a half while I was at work. But every time I got a glimpse of the game, Alabama was just marching down. They couldn't stop Smith in the first half. Then the second half, it was like open rain on Ohio State's defense. So, all right, Trey. Nate, you got that rant warning ready? Because I heard Trey is ready to go off. So, Trey, the floor is yours.
First off, it might not be. I kind of calmed down. If this was last night, oh my gosh, everything would have been broken. I would have talked an hour about this game. But let me tell you something. What I saw from Ohio State, I don't know what it was. I don't know over the first play of the game, Trey Sermon went down. I don't know if that did something to Ohio State's mindset or whatever, but you have got to be kidding me. What Ohio State put out there last night was ridiculous. Yes, we all know Smith is the Heisman Trophy winner. Yes, we all know that Mac Jones and Najee Harris are going to do their thing. But what kind of defense Ohio State was playing against Devontae Smith. I understand you don't want to get big deep and you want to play a red zone kind of a game. But Ohio State, their game plan for no adjustments whatsoever. You let them have these receivers wide open. Oh, no at the line pushing them, get them off the route a little bit, nothing like that. At one play, I don't know if y'all watched this, one play on a touchdown to Devontae Smith, Ohio State had their slowest linebacker one-on-one with Devontae Smith. You telling me that that's your best defense right there? You have got to be kidding me. I don't understand what the heck Ryan Day and the coaching staff were even thinking. They didn't make any adjustments whatsoever. You would think after they scored 21 straight points that, hey, maybe we need to start blitzing some more, maybe do man-on-man, push them, shove them, get them off the line. They didn't do that. They played tentative, and that's not how you're going to beat Alabama. Everyone knows how you beat Alabama. You got to pop them in the mouth. You got to turn the ball over. And, yes, when they finally did blitz, they got a turnover, and they scored a touchdown. But it's not even with the defense because we all know that Alabama is great by far. They're a great offense, probably the best offense we've seen. Everyone says LSU last year. I can argue that this Alabama's offense is even better than LSU's last year. But the offense, yes, we all know Trey Sermon went down. But Major Teague is not a bad runner. Either is Justin Fields. Either is Crowley. Those three-headed monsters should have got more yards than what they got. They only got you 147 yards. That in itself is abysmal. And then you also have Olave. He only had 8 receptions for 69 yards. And then your other stud wide receiver, Wilson. Their game plan was just atrocious. I'm going to be honest with you. A high school football, 2A football team could have done a better defensive job than what Ohio State put out there last night. They looked like they were jogging. They looked like they were not absorbed. I don't know what was going on. They won a championship after they beat Clemson. That's why I wanted Clemson to win big, because at Clemson, I think it was the only team that could beat Ohio or Alabama. And what the Ohio State, they're shooting themselves in the foot tonight. Yes, Alabama is a great team. I'm not denying that. But this ain't one of the best Alabama teams we've seen in a long time. Their defense is not that great. They're young in the secondary. They're young at the defensive line level, and they didn't expose any of that. They cradled like a little baby. This was not the Ohio State team that we all know. Justin Fields after all the hype and rave that we gave him last week against Clemson, he looked like he was not even a first-round draft pick. He looked like Zach Wilson's going to be the number 2 overall pick. The effort that you had. Don't do that me yet, Jay. I'm ready. Come on, Jay. Where are you?
But listen.
No, here we go. No, you listen.
I've been telling you this. I've been telling you.
Tell me what? Did you not watch the game?
Yes. Look, Ohio State went out there in hopes that their offense was going to be flying high. So what they were doing was playing big play prevent. That's all they were doing. But the thing is, the flip side, their offense wasn't there. That's what they were doing, though. They're playing prevent the big play. But playing that sort of defense would work if you get on offense and you're blazing. And you know what, Sermon, that was a huge blow, and I think the reason being was the timing.
First play of the game.
It was so like deflating, like you get that balloon and you're blowing up that balloon and it pops while you're blowing it up, like that, like dang. But this is the biggest thing to me, and this is why I say no matter what they would have done, there's nothing they could have changed. Fields had 261 total yards.
Yeah, horrible.
Total. There's no way you beat them.
You're telling me Clemson couldn't beat this Alabama team. You're telling me that.
No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Ohio State was outmatched before they started this game.
They weren't outmatched. No, it was a horrible game plan by the coaches.
You know why they didn't? You know why you didn't know?
Oh, here we go. What?
You know why you didn't know?
Jay? What, Jay? What?
Because they didn't play enough games.
Oh, good God. Oh, my God.
Because they didn't play enough games.
So you're telling me 7 games is not enough to get film on? Give me a break. When 6 games is enough. You have enough film on them after 3 games. Don't give me that crap. This game plan for Ohio State coaching staff was abysmal, and you know it.
So what game did they get tested in?
Indiana. Let's go with that one.
What was that, week 1 or 2?
No, that was week 3.
Okay.
Northwestern.
They did not get tested in Northwestern.
They were losing majority of the game. What are you talking about?
Because that Northwestern game, Northwestern came out, but did they surprise you?
Me? No.
Northwestern didn't surprise you in that game?
No, because I knew their defense was great. I knew they'd keep it close.
They keep it close, but they surprised me. They were way further than they were. It lasted way longer. They stayed in that game way longer than I thought they would. It was surprising. Ohio State. This was an odd year for them. They had a very talented team, but they should not have been in the playoffs.
Here we go. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Been in the playoffs.
Right. Oh, okay. So last week we were all saying, "Oh yeah, maybe they should have," because they did look like one of the best 14. And yesterday they get blown out. Yeah, you also came on last week and agreed with me a little bit.
I said, yeah, they look good, but it was also
okay.
Look. They looked good to the eye. We agreed on the eye test.
Yeah.
We agreed on the eye test. But I told you they should not be playing Alabama. They shouldn't be here. I would have been way more comfortable having. Cincinnati. Yes. We talked about Texas Tech. I mean, there was even Florida being and that's another thing though. When you look at this, Texas A&M. I'm sorry. When you look at this, when you look at this, me and you both know. You go into the we debate every week. You go into the tournament, in college, even. I don't care what you look like all season. Me and you both know that's no guarantee to make it even to the Elite 8. So when you get into these playoff rounds, you really gotta be something.
Yep.
You really do.
Dude, Dude, I'm just telling you. Okay. Oh, if you watch the game, don't look at the score, don't look at the ball, whatever. If you just watch the game plan, okay, they were playing that, and I agree with you. That's probably what they should have done. But they were giving up big plays early in that game, so it wasn't working to begin with. They didn't make no freaking adjustments. That's what I have a problem with. They had no adjustment. Why not you're already getting beat deep when you're already playing 10 yards behind them or back. Why not try to go up there and smush them?
Yeah.
Yes, we all know Devontae Smith. You can double team. He's still going to get open, but at least make it hard for him. But whenever you have a 5'40" or 5'40" guy linebacker jogging down the field trying to catch Devontae Smith, good, give me a break. That's your best out defense. No, and yes, and that offense looked atrocious. I don't know what Justin Fields looked. He took that one big hit. I don't know if you saw it. He took that one big hit, and it kind of he had to get help up from the referee. He got I guess he went through. I don't want to go through this all game. He didn't want to get hit, whatever the case may be. But he lost some NFL draft prospects with that performance.
He lost. He's seen some Tweety birds with that hit, man. He got smacked.
But all right.
That you got that coaching. But you're telling me that Ole Miss will beat Ohio State. You're telling me that?
Which Ohio State? The one that we just seen last week?
Yeah, this one right here, the one that played Alabama. Yesterday.
No, man, a lot of teams gonna beat that team.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It was horrible. If the Ohio State team played against Clemson, because now, granted, they were more fired up for Clemson. I'm going to give you that. They were, because last year they thought they should have won that game. They felt like they got and everything. That was a revenge game, and I feel like they let all their emotions go into that game.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. But they're not. Remember, Texas A&M lost to Alabama the same exact score. You're telling me Ohio State wouldn't beat Texas A&M? I mean, this was I'm not saying Alabama would have lost. I'm not saying.
Me and you sit here and we say that, and I've been listening to you for 3-4 weeks straight about Ohio State and how what the eye test looks like. And
yes, that was not the same team last night.
Failed.
No, it wasn't.
I will put Eastern Carolina up against this Ohio State. That team was
you gotta be kidding me. You need to get off this Eastern Carolina.
Oh,
they lost in a bowl game. Give me a break. They don't deserve
Cincinnati, I put them up against them.
Oh, and then we could get the exact same advantage. They came in and hold off a Georgia Bulldog team who was losing 10 starters because they didn't want to play. Don't give me that. They didn't deserve to be in this.
But when the Ohio State eye test, it looked just as bad.
A&M's the only.
It looked just as bad.
In the championship game, but against Clemson, the committee looked really, really good.
Championship in a bowl. When there's only
one, Ohio State won a bowl.
Right
Ohio State won a bowl. I'm just telling you that.
It's an advanced bowl game. It's an expert mode.
Exactly. It's an expert because you played so dominant and you got to the championship. Eastern Carolina, they didn't even win their non-playoff game. This is
You know what though? We can both agree on this. If we had a 16 playoff this year, and Ohio State ended up in Alabama the same way they did, played the same game and lost the same way they did, at least we would respect it more.
Yeah, I agree. That's why they need to do at least 8 teams this year. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, they should have won 8.
But I mean, minimum 6. Minimum.
But let's just be honest with ourselves. Ohio State deserved to be in. I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
Ohio State deserved to be. They're one of the 4 best teams. I'm saying it. Notre Dame is who we're leaving out. Notre Dame should have. Texas A&M should have took Notre Dame's spot.
But I can't take Notre Dame out and leave Ohio State in with the amount of games that they played this year. Do I agree with you on the eye test and the talent level? Yes. I agree with you on the eye test and the talent level. But Notre Dame did their thing. I can't punish them. The only team that's punishable.
Who did Notre Dame play besides Clemson? Who did Notre Dame play?
Besides who?
I'm ready. Besides Clemson twice. Who did they play?
Who was in the playoffs?
Clemson.
Okay, that's enough.
But let's just be real. Let's be real. All I'm saying is let's be real. If Trevor Lawrence and those 5 defensive All-Americans were playing on the Clemson side the first time, Notre Dame would have got smashed. Let's forget. Everyone's forgetting that they went to double overtime against a backup squad.
We didn't forget that. But remember, we got an asterisk.
Why we're not adding that into the factor? Why the committee not? That's why I'm saying. That's why I have
the committee messed up.
Yes, Notre Dame.
And we agree on that. We agree that if this was a non-COVID year, Notre Dame probably wouldn't have been in the playoffs.
They shouldn't have been in this year.
Ohio State, they probably would have ended up being in, but they probably would have had a whole different look if they played a freaking full season. They probably would have been rolling and Justin Fields would have been rolling. And so yes, I agree that Ohio State on a normal year, they're in this. This year was not a normal year. It was not a normal year.
So, is that Ohio State? You're telling me Eastern Carolina should have been in, or Cincinnati?
I don't know why you shake you do your eyebrows like that, because you was Cincinnati in it too.
I had Cincinnati in over Notre Dame, not over Ohio State.
It don't matter. It don't matter who they're over. It don't matter who they're over. My point is, me and you could agree that a couple other teams could have went in this year. Period.
Oh, I agree. That's why they should have. It was too wide open. There wasn't enough basis this year. It was.
Yeah, the SEC played games.
That's what I'm saying. The SEC played 10 games, and then you had the Ohio State Big Ten only played 5 to 6 games. Mm-hmm. I agree with you. It wasn't fair comparison. You can't compare record to record.
The Pac-12 didn't even have a season.
That's why the Pac-12 even had a bowl game, except for Oregon and Colorado, and we all saw how they were.
Thank you for coming, bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for football.
You know.
All right, so with that being a wrap on the national championship game, let's move to the next slide there, Nate, please. All right. Is every playoff game being a blowout their excuse for why a non-major conference team shouldn't be in the playoffs? Trey, what do you think?
That's absolutely not the excuse.
Well, you hear the excuse every year, like, if Alabama played Cincinnati, if Alabama played Eastern Carolina, if Alabama, they'll get blown out. Well, these big schools are getting blown out too. We have one close game in the Final Four. So that excuse is out the window for the big committee. I'm sorry. Alabama did the mid-majors a very, very major favorite this year. Because no game was competitive. And Cincinnati would have gave a better performance than what Ohio State, and I would last night's Ohio State team. But I still think Ohio State was still one of the best teams in the nation. But that Ohio State team, I'm off that one. Okay. But yes, this proves that mid-majors should get a chance, no matter who they play or anything like that. Cincinnati has every gripe in the world. They should have been a playoff team. They're the only team in the NCAA to get what's the word I'm looking for? Demoted, I guess you can say, because they didn't play games because of COVID. I mean, they dropped down 2 spots because they didn't play a game. And then Florida loses 3 straight and only dropped 1 spot. That's not right. I'm sorry. And then Eastern Carolina got shafted because they should have been in the top 10 ever since they beat BYU. They still didn't get any love. Even they lost to a great – who are they playing the bowl game? Louisiana.
Yeah.
Well.
But look at this, man. If we go further into the season, there's a couple more games. Oklahoma was making a roar back.
Yes.
And they beat Florida by 35. And Florida looked good.
Florida looked like they didn't want
it towards the end of the year.
Let's just be real. Florida did not want to be there. Their hopes and mindsets were
correct.
Just like Georgia and Texas a couple of years ago. They were sitting out Pitts. They were sitting out a couple of wide receivers. They wasn't the true Florida team that we all know. But yes, Oklahoma did the thing.
But my point, they were roaring back. Then you had the Georgia-Cincinnati game. That was a really good bowl game, actually.
That was a really good game.
But
Georgia was also, again, sitting out their 10 best players.
But again, looking at – there's no way around it, bro. There's no excuse. The excuse is over. We need 6 to 8. Period.
Yes. Yep. Yes. And the committee needs to stop this crap of, we watch enough for the kids. We don't want to miss school. School's out. School's out after Thanksgiving. Don't give me that crap. Yep. You have no problem with like Alabama going to USC or like opening games like all over the country. Don't give me this. And then the NCAA, they have 678 teams. You're not worried about their academic. You're only worried about college football. Give me a break. That is ridiculous in itself. But yes, we've proven year after year that these mostly semifinal games, they're not even close. They're never close. Coastal Carolina. Jay said Eastern Carolina, and I just stuck with it. I'm sorry.
Yep.
You tricked me into saying it, Trey. No, man.
I said,
Will, you seen it, Will. Don't let him, man.
I'm sorry, Coastal Carolina. I'm sorry. I had Coastal on my mind.
Coastal. No, but
no, you.
I just.
So I got. So is there a way the NCAA could make these teams more evenly matched? I mean, we know Alabama's a powerhouse. We know, Clemson's a powerhouse. But what about some of these teams that are in the big conferences, like Minnesota, Michigan? Is there a way the NCAA can come up with some kind of guidelines to where we can level the playing field somehow, you guys think, or no?
Yeah, the same way the NFL can figure out how to make the Jets better.
No.
You know what I mean? No, that's the competition. That's sports.
There is. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these schools, they may not be football schools. They may be basketball schools. They may be, and you're gonna have that. I mean, flip the script when we start talking about basketball here. Some of these schools, we don't even know if they have a football team. So, you know what I mean? I don't think. No, there's always going to be some bad teams in the divisions. There's always going to be some bad teams.
Oh yeah, you're always going to have that. But there is one way to do it, and I think what's his name, Jim Harbaugh, the Michigan coach, tried to do this. He wanted to stop recruit only in your regions.
Okay.
Regional recruitment.
Yes, that's the only way that it would make it. But even then, that's not right because it's just not. Let's just be fair. That's just Jim Harbaugh or whoever not wanting to recruit because they're afraid. But everyone just needs to be like, oh, they're going to go to Alabama or they're going to go to Ohio State. Clemson was not even in the discussion of the top recruits until Dabo Swinney got there. It's all about your coach and everything. That's why Texas went out and fired whoever they fired. I can't remember. He was so pathetic. I can't remember his name. But then they went and got Sarkisian because of recruitment. In that offense that he just put in the offense that he put up at Alabama. They saw that Texas has they'll lose. Texas used to be a high-ranked powerhouse recruit. Everyone wanted to go to Texas, no matter where you were. And now nobody wants to come to Texas because they can't win the big for a reason. Alabama, Clemson, Alabama has the number one recruiting class this year. Alabama goes there was a time where Alabama didn't even go west to California, and they just stayed southern. They stayed in Texas, Georgia, Alabama. They just stayed there. And so that's the only way I guess you can make it competitive. But even in that's not a fair competitive either because you're telling me that, let's just be honest, the top three schools for football is Texas, Florida, Alabama, maybe Alabama, and California. That for a high school. I'm not talking college. I'm high school.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So you just got to suck it up and you got to recruit harder. I mean, that's just like saying like us, oh, how do you make it fair that this one guy is getting more promotions than I am? You just got to work harder. You just got to go and sell yourself in recruitment. And that's why these coaches need to stop being lazy and they just need to go out and recruit. Because I guarantee you right now, Nick Saban's already, after the championship game, he's already out recruiting again.
Oh,
I'm just telling you that.
No doubt.
I mean, most of these coaches that can have their assistants. Nick, but you need to have your head coaches go out and recruit, not your assistants. That's another key factor too.
Yeah, yep. I mean, we look at these teams here, and it comes down to the organizations, the schools, and how they're running them. Man, I mean, you want better teams. Spend the money in your coaching staff. Spend the money in your upper organization. I mean, that's like Trey's example, Texas. That's what they did. They went and got a scouting guru. They retired. We had a good coach, but he wasn't recruiting. You know what I mean? I mean, look at Kentucky.
There we go.
In basketball, I mean, he is a recruiting genius. He has a new team almost every year. So when you look at collegiate sports, it's about recruiting and getting these kids to turn into your players and trust you. That's the second level, recruiting the players. And the second level is being able to get those players you recruited and what you envision them to do together to make it work. I mean, look at USC. The early thousands, USC was a recruiting powerhouse.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, any talented, fast, skilled player we heard of coming out of high school, the USC was in their top 5 choices. So, and then they had a few issues. Pete Carroll left, and you had Lane Kiffin. You got You had some penalties, being held out of the eligibility for a couple years, and look, now their recruiting got tore up due to all that stuff, and now they got to repair that. Until they do, now that's going back to what Trey said as well, why the regional wouldn't work, because again, even with all that, damage done to their recruiting department, they're still going to be middle playing field because they're USC. They're smack dab in the middle of Southern California, and that's one of the mecca for high school football. So I don't think regional will help. I think that'll actually turn a completely different type of disadvantage that we've never seen. But
the
I
SEC would kill it every year. The SEC would kill it every year they did regional. I'm just telling you that right now.
Yeah.
They would.
Well, I mean, you can say that, but how many players from California are traveling out? So you lock in California, where they have USC basically.
That's it.
Yeah. So now they're going to be USC's going to be loaded.
Yeah. But
all right.
Hey, Brandon,
what's up?
I want to ask Jay a question real quick. We don't have a slide for it. I just have a question because it's just breaking news this week. What do you think of Jim Harbaugh signing a 5-year extension at Michigan?
I was just gonna bring that up, Trey. I literally was. Yeah. So
I think me and you kind of alluded to this maybe a week or two ago. We just kind of rushed on it. And you were asking, is he out soon? And I was like, no. I mean, he hasn't won, but I think he's came in there and he's really changed that Wolverine, football organization, and he's put a stamp that he got. It's Harbaugh. When I look at the Wolverines now, I think of Harbaugh. I mean, they had, what was that dude's name last year? Peterson? Is he still there? Their quarterback?
I don't
know.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, well, I think his name was Peterson.
No. Peterson graduated last year, and this year was Jim Harbaugh's recruit.
Okay, Peterson. Yeah. He wasn't really a Harbaugh type guy, but Harbaugh made him work. And he wasn't, to me, he wasn't very talented. He wouldn't have been a guy that I really would have seen him, run with. So I really like Harbaugh as a coach. I like both the Harbaughs, honestly. And we talk about recruiting. He recruits, bro. It's just a matter of getting that right group together, bro.
Is this his first official recruiting class? Is he finally passed all the pass filter? Okay. So that's probably why they gave him that extension. Besides being afraid of losing him to the Jets, but
let's just be honest with.
What's up?
I said Jim Harbaugh. Let's be honest. He didn't deserve this contract. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Come on, man. He's the only coach. No, I'm talking about Jay.
Okay.
There's no way you go 0-7 or 0-6 this year. Don't even play Ohio State in the last game. And yet you have yet to beat Ohio State or Michigan State since you've been there.
Yep.
Or maybe Michigan State one time. He hasn't won the rivalry games. Yeah, he beat Notre Dame a couple of times. Oh, big whoop-de-doo. We all saw how good Notre Dame is. But anyway, I'll regress. You can beat up on those crappy teams all you want to, but he's the only coach I know. Okay, Doug Peterson just won a Super Bowl 3 years ago. He's canned because his team digressed every year. Jim Harbaugh's team digresses every year. I don't understand why. The only reason he is because he was a Michigan quarterback. He's a Michigan guy, and it was COVID, and they're not going to – I guarantee you that contract's not going to mean anything if they do the same thing next year.
Trey.
Oh, yeah.
Can you eat soup with a fork?
Yes, I can.
Okay, because that's what he's been trying to do, man. That's what he's been trying to do. This is going to be his first year with his recruits, his tools, his selected barbecue tools. You know what I mean? And the last few years, he's been eating soup with a fork. I mean, this year, how many players kept a year of a year of eligibility? How many players held out?
I have no idea about Michigan. I can't tell you.
I wonder that. I didn't look at it, but I wonder how many people held out, because next year is his real recruiting class with his players How many people did he have sit out and gain one more year of eligibility with his new recruits?
Yeah, I don't
So
know.
now we're using that as an excuse that it's not his recruits. A lot
I'm
of
not
coaches
using that
go
as an
in.
excuse.
A
Those
lot
are
of
cold
coaches.
hard facts.
Yeah, but okay, yeah, you're recruits, but you're still a head coach, and you're a head coach of the team you're taking. You know that going in. So why is he being praised for finally getting some recruits when this year was actually his first year of recruits, and he went 0 he didn't win a game.
Not a single game. Let me check that, Will. I'm gonna check it right now.
He didn't win one game. He got blown out almost every game. So don't give me that. He's the only coach that gets rewarded for doing a crappy job each year. I'm sorry. And then he's 0-6, 7 against Ohio State. He doesn't deserve it. I'm sorry.
So that division is just
Yeah,
horrible, huh?
I don't.
That Big Ten
I
this
don't
year was
think
horrible.
Big Ten was horrible. We can agree with that. So, but I don't think it should have been 5 years. Maybe give him a couple years, see how he goes. But like Trey said, I mean, he digresses again. I mean, yeah, Peterson was out. Harbaugh's got to be almost next in line to. He probably won't finish his contract in Michigan.
Well, I guarantee you, he has another bad year this year. What excuse are you going to have for him next year, Jay? Oh, you may have more years in the recruits? Come on, man.
No, look. So, look, they had Dylan McCaffrey, his quarterback, Ambry Thomas, Nico Collins, Cameron Cheeseman, all sat out this year.
I know, I'm just saying.
They
sat out.
Yeah, they sat out for COVID.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
so, I mean, I'm not trying to give them an excuse, but me and you just sat here and talked about how weird this year was, and how some other teams could have made it.
Sign him to a 1-year deal, or 2-year deal. Don't let him leave coach. Don't do a 5-year extension.
Wait,
do a 2-year.
Yeah.
Wait, this is no test coach.
Nah, he won't finish his contract with Michigan.
So look, this ain't no test coach. It's either you give them or you don't. I think if you're doing a short-term deal, you have to do 3.
Well, 3 would have been okay.
Yeah, but I don't think you do that with Harbaugh. It costs you more. Look, he comes out, you give him a 2-year deal. He come out next year, beat Ohio State. It's going to cost you a whole lot more money the next time you sign him.
They're good. Then you have a winning coach. You prove that you have a winning coach. If he doesn't do it again, then you're eating money. I'm sorry. He's not working out in Michigan. I'm sorry, just because he was a Michigan guy. He's a quarterback whisperer, living in the past. I'm sorry. Just don't like Jim Harbaugh.
We'll see his quarterback pop out.
Now, I will say this. If they do win next year and they do beat Ohio State, go to the Big Ten championship. Remember, he hasn't been to a Big Ten championship game, dude. Come on. Yeah. Michigan, you can win games. Don't whatever. Next slide. I'm done.
Nope, you're good. So, all right. So that's a wrap on the NCAA football for 2020, 2021, I guess. So, all right. Basketball's going to start heating up here. Jay, what do you got coming up in a few weeks? What are you looking for?
I mean, so far, it's been planning out. The top 6 hasn't changed since last week.
It will this
week. You said it will this week?
Kansas lost. That would change.
Yep. Kansas lost. They lost in 2 games because they just lost again tonight since last week. What else? Wisconsin and Tennessee moved around. Yeah, there's not much change in the top 10 really at all. I just want to see closer into the divisionals. I want to see like a week or 2 into the divisionals and see how these teams start meeting, like the Big 12.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like that division, and the Big 10. That's another division that's packed of the top 25. So I want to see those two divisions collide, because that's going to tell a lot about who survives it. I mean, there's not one Pac-10 team that's ranked right now.
Oregon.
Did they just slide up in there?
The 22nd.
Okay, so they're barely in there. Yeah, they just slid in there. So they're 22nd. Duke at 19. I mean, are we gonna stay like this? St. Louis down there at 24. So I want to see what movement happens.
Yeah, Duke lost tonight against Virginia Tech. So you're going to see some stuff playing around this week.
So what about you, Trey? What are you looking forward to the upcoming weeks of college basketball?
I never thought in my lifetime I'm going to say this. I am looking forward to Big 12 basketball. This conference is stacked. You have two teams in the top 4 in Baylor and Texas. You have Kansas right behind there at 6, even though they're going to drop next week because they lost to Oklahoma State. You have Texas Tech, who's at 15. And then you have Oklahoma State, who's not even ranked, who should be ranked, only lost 2 games. You have West Virginia, who's in there as well. That team can get hot anytime. The Pac-12 or the Big 12 is the best conference in basketball right now. I'll take them over the Big 10. Man, Big 10, you have Michigan. You have Michigan. We thought we had Wisconsin, but Wisconsin, they kind of laid an egg tonight against Michigan. I don't know what Wisconsin team that was. That was a horrific showing. But I'm anxious to see about the can the Big 12 live up to all the hype that they're getting right now, because they're getting love from every analyst, and that's what I want to see. I want to see how because Texas is starting to get into their teeth of their schedule right now. We're going to get into that a little bit later. I want to see that. I want to see Kansas has dropped a couple. This ain't a very good Kansas team, but they still could be there at the teetering point. And I just want to know, is this the year that they're finally going to knock off Kansas in the Big 12? We're actually going to have a different champion after 14 years. That's what I'm anxious to see.
Yeah, for me, it's all the conference games. I mean, the conference is where you make it or break it. It seems like in basketball. So, being from the Big 10 country, yeah, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan State, all those teams are highly, classified right now. So I'd like to see them keep going. But yeah, Pac-12, Big 12, I mean, ACC, all those, you get into the conference games, it can make or break a season. So, but with that being said, any more breakdown before we get to our next topic? You guys got any final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jay.
No,
you go. Me.
All right, Jay, go ahead.
No, but I was just looking through the Creighton one, them sliding up in there because they're 6-1 in conference play, and just looking at that, they started off the year 4-2, and this is what I mean getting into these conference battles. Seton Hall, even they're 6-2. So Villanova coming around the corner. They got Creighton, who's getting hot, Connecticut getting hot, Seton Hall getting hot with the conference play, and they got to deal with all 3 of them, which I think Villanova's going to handle them. But again, that's going to start showing us what these top powerhouses really look like. Because again, once we get into tournaments, it's totally different. And we got teams like Duke this year that are getting beat up on. That it's not going to be like we usually see. Like we said, me and you said in the first couple weeks, Trey, this is going to be a Cinderella year.
Okay.
Somebody lurking in the waters. This is going to be a Cinderella year.
Okay. All right, Trey. Anything to add?
I'm anxious to see. Man, can anyone hold off Gonzaga? That's what I want. I know they're in Gonzaga. Their conference sucks. Let's just be honest. They're only tough going at St. Mary's. I mean, and maybe San Francisco, but we also know what they did to them. Now, I think that hurts them going into the NCAA tournament
every year
because they won't have a competitive edge. They won't have competitive because remember when they first became a powerhouse in basketball, they were a Cinderella story. They were the Cinderella story that everyone fell in love with, and now they're at the point where they're one of the elites and they can't get over the edge. So that's what I'm anxious to see at the end of the year. But man, I'm just the SEC.
Is Gonzaga Notre Dame?
Oh, that's a good comparison there, Jay. I like that. What do you think, Trey?
Today's Notre Dame, yes.
Yeah.
Today's Notre Dame, yes. Yes. Now you're talking Notre Dame back in the 80s? No. 70s? No. Today? Heck yeah. I mean, what was it, a couple of years ago? What was it, a couple of years ago? Their best team in the country, and they lose. I mean, they don't even make it to the Final Four. I'm just telling you. They choke. They just choke at the wrongest time. I mean, they make it to a Final Four, but then they don't do anything. I mean, at some point, I forgot who this head coach is. I forgot his name. He's been there forever. At some point, he's going to have to win a championship or they're going to have to boot him out. I'm sorry. That's why he doesn't want to leave, because at Gonzaga, you're not expected for anything. But now they're starting to get at that elite level where their fans are starting to be like, Will Polson says Chattanooga. Oh, give me a break. Chattanooga might make a little run.
But see, I can't say that. I can't say give me a break. I normally I'd be right there behind you, Trey. This year is one of those years, one of these freaking teams that we don't know. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna pop out.
I don't think what I mean was to give me a break. I mean, like, they won't make the final. They'll probably win 1 or 2 games, but they might go to the Final Four.
Man,
I'm looking for the Elite Eight. That's mine.
I'm looking through here, man, and I mean, yeah, we got teams like Texas, we got teams like Baylor, we got teams that look good, but no one just looks out of this world. And I'm telling you, that's scary going into the 64.
It makes it fun, though.
It does. Could we get another 16-1 upset this year?
It all depends on who the matchups are. I'm telling you that right now. It all depends on. Let's be real. Let's go back to that 16-1 upset. Virginia was the right team for a 16-1 upset.
That year, yeah.
Well, that year, yes, because they could not score. All they could do is play defense. If they weren't making anything, that was the year. And they just got a hot team, a team that could be hot. No one said Chicago could do it. Quit hating.
Hey, I talked about them earlier. We talked about them a couple weeks back.
Let's be real about that team. That was Sister Mary, all right? That had nothing to do with the team. It was all those Hail Marys that she was doing on the sideline. Let's just be honest about that. But that was a good story. That was a good story.
That was a good story.
Hey, that was some good TV. No, but I mean, you're 100% right though. I'm looking, but there's teams like there's a lot of new teams too that are coming up that are getting some eligibility. Like I'm looking at the Western Athletic Conference, and just out of the blue, just an example. Grand Canyon University, they're brand new in here with eligibility rights, and just looking through here, man, getting through. Once we start hitting these divisional runs, hey, look at that Coastal. You see Coastal in basketball? No, but one of these Sun Belts, one of these weird conferences, mess around and have a run, and if you get into the Sweet 16, you're there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened with Virginia. They didn't have any shooting. They couldn't go down. They played solid defense, but if they get down in the game, like you said, they have no offense to come back.
Yep.
And you playing 2 and 3 games a week, you ain't got no energy to come back neither.
I think you are going to start seeing a lot of 16-1 upsets a lot more. The reason I'm saying that, because you're seeing a lot of. I'm not saying this year. I'm not saying, but I think in a couple of years you're going to see it, because you're going to have these teams that are like, they're all seniors, they're starting 5 years. Then you have these one and done players, and you can't really trust a freshman a lot of the time. Let's just be honest. That's why these mid majors are catching up to these powerhouses, because the powerhouses get these all one and done. The mid majors like Gonzaga's and everything, they get the junior transfer college players. They get 4-year commitments, and they don't go to the NBA. That's why you're starting to see it level off, and I think that's why you're going to start seeing a 16-1 more as it goes on. Well, so.
All right. So with that being said, let's move on to our next topic there, Nate, please. All right. Is Texas a true contender for the Final Four? Trey, let's go with you, since Jay's relocating, it looked like. So what do you think? Is Texas true contender for the Final Four mid?
Oh, yes, baby. Hook 'em. Hook 'em. Hook 'em. I'm just saying that because all my sports teams suck this year, and Texas is my last chance in basketball. Never thought I'd say this. But, yes, this Texas team, I wasn't a buyer at first. Yeah, they won a big game. I'm like, all right, they won a big game, then they lose a big game. This team consistently wins. They only have 1 loss, and it's against Villanova, and they only lost to them by 4 points. And Villanova happens to be the 3rd best team in the nation right now. So this Texas team, they have defense, they have length, they have guard play. Those 3 factors win you NCAA games in the NCAA tournament, especially veteran guard play. We're seeing it's a guard league. What wins it every year is guard play. You're seeing that right now. They have Matt Coleman. They have Ramey, who can hit threes from anywhere. Andrew Jones. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this. I don't know if y'all saw this or not, know anything about this. 2 years ago, and Andrew Jones, they went to West Virginia. They had to tell him that he couldn't play because he has diagnosed with cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And so 2 years ago, Saturday, they go to West Virginia. Guess who hits the game-winning shot to win the game? Andrew Jones. That is a great story. That's why I love sports. Right there. A little nutshell right there. But you have Andrew Jones coming back. This team can hit threes. This is a Shaka Smart-led team. You're finally starting to see a Shaka Smart team. And he needed it because he was teetering on fire if they weren't going to do anything this year. Because last year's team was abysmal. That team sucked. But, yeah, you have Coleman who can hit threes. Ramey who can hit threes. Jones can hit threes. Then their length and their defense and their inside, you have Sims. Man, this team they remind me of a little bit of like the Los Angeles Lakers on the defensive end. And whenever they do, they can push out and run. I'm not saying they're as good as the Lakers, Jay. I'm not saying that. They just remind me with their length with LeBron and AD from last year. That's all I'm saying.
No, they do have the length and the athleticism, and they're quick on their feet. With Ramey and Coleman doing what they're doing consistently every single night, they are dangerous. Villanova, that loss was big, but it wasn't at the same time. I think it was bigger. It was a bigger loss for Texas than it was a win for Villanova because they lost only by 2 points. They put up a big fight. And then right after that, they go over to Kansas, number 6 ranked Kansas, and beat them by 25.
Tied for the best. Tied for the worst loss in Kansas at Lawrence Fieldhouse.
You see what I'm saying? So, and then they beat West Virginia by 2. So again, like we've been saying this whole show, getting into these divisional schedules coming up though, because you got Texas Tech, then
tomorrow
you got
night.
Baylor, then you got West Virginia.
Maybe Baylor.
Well, granted, they don't have any COVID issues. They don't get the Ohio State treatment. But then we got Kansas again, and then we end them with Texas Tech. So,
there's a chance Texas won't play Baylor either time. I mean, I saw they got a game canceled already.
Yeah, Baylor's game got canceled today because of COVID. So there might be some jeopardy in that game next week. But they're gonna play. They're gonna play.
Does that help Texas or Baylor?
Well, I saw a Texas schedule that Baylor got canceled earlier in the season.
So now
postponed. I'm sorry, postponed.
Because let's just be honest with ourselves. These two teams are undefeated. I think they're the only two undefeated teams in that conference play right now.
Yep.
If Baylor, if they don't play at all, and both these teams are undefeated, they have to play. They have to.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. You guys are talking about get postponed again. It's like, okay, so we're not going to see either one of those games happen. So
they'll make it happen. Now I can see. I can see where if
it gets canceled, maybe that's the championship game.
We got to see it before that.
Like going back to Texas, and you're talking about their schedule. Let's just be honest. Texas has pretty much played all these teams except for Baylor at away. They played them in Kansas. They played them in West Virginia. They play, so now they get to come back and get at home. So they already did a tough part of their schedule on the road. They still got to play Baylor on the road if they do get that game in. They still got to play Tech the last game of the season on the road. But Tech is kind of Tech. The only thing that scares me about Tech for Texas is their defense. But I'm telling you, these three guards, Randy, Coleman, Jones, all of them are averaging 13 points a game. And then you have Greg Brown, a forward, who's averaging 12 points a game. Ramsey's shooting 43% from 3-point range. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, this team is really good. I don't want to jinx them because it's my only last hope for a good sports year.
They just need that third option, scoring option, just that's going to be consistent every single game with them. Coleman is there, Ramey's there. They can go to both of them in big time situations.
Jones? Andrew Jones?
Well, yeah, Jones is coming back. I mean, even Sims, if he could just sew it up and keep it consistent, he's right there with them too. He's butting that spot as well. So, I mean, they got the tools. They definitely got the tools.
And that's what you need. You need that consistent play come tournament time because we know it's one and done. I mean, there ain't no tomorrow if you can't win. So,
But
and
that's
you just fell on the ground.
no, but that's the other thing too. Like you say, Trey, is that guard play. Because I don't care what no one says. When we get into that tournament, guard play is where it's at. Guard play is where you win and you lose your tournaments at.
Oh yeah, you look at every year. It's a guard who comes out of miraculous. Like you have Jay Williams back in Duke. You had who was a Michigan State guy who's been there forever last year.
Last year?
Yeah, or 2 years ago when they beat Duke in the Elite Eight. I forgot his name, but he's a stud player. And then you also have the youngsters like John Wall. You had DeAndre Fox.
Fox.
Kimba Walker.
You have Cardiac Kimba. You know.
Oh, dude. What Kimba Walker did, not only in the NCAA tournament, but in Big East tournament, that was remarkable. That was the best thing I've seen in any tournaments whatsoever.
Hey, D Wade when he was doing his thing too.
No,
that was
he was
disgusting.
He was, but UConn basically had to win the tournament to get in the tournament.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not taking Kimba. No, Cardiac Kimba was amazing.
He carried that team.
He carried game. Once he hit the first game winner, I was like, oh, that was nice. I'm gonna catch the next one, and he just kept going. It was like watching Mark McGuire go up to the plate after Sammy Sosa just hit one. And you're like, he can't hit one. No, back gone. You know what I mean? Like Kimba just kept doing it. So I really can't wait. I start really getting excited.
This is one now.
Yep. This is when I really start dissecting and grabbing my my sleepers and my dark horses for the tournament. Like, oh, I'm gonna watch this team. Oh, okay, I'm gonna watch them.
Now, Jay, are you the type of guy who call in work or just request days off for the first 2 days of the tournament?
Oh no. I just let everybody know that you when you hear that in the background, it's not an accident. It's happening. And you can't even tell what's on anyway. It's just like 4 different TVs. Everything in a circle.
Oh, dude, and let's just give kudos. I know we're going off topic here, but I hated back. I don't remember if y'all remember back in the day. We always get one game on CBS. One game, and now we get to watch every game, and it's just back. Like my wife gets so mad at me because I'm flipping the channels back and forth. Like, how do you pay attention? I go, just trust me. Like it's so much. I have 2 TVs, my iPad. It's fun.
Hey, and anyone that sits through commercials during Final Four or tourney time, you're not watching it right.
But don't you hit it though? Like there's a commercial, you flip to the next game. Commercial. Flip to the next. Like, come on.
No.
That's when you got to have your streamers going too, so you could just switch to the streaming channel.
Now that it's being all in Indiana, aren't the games going to be on like earlier too? I mean, 9:00 start Central Time, if not earlier, and just go all the way through.
Hey, I'm all for it. For it.
That actually brought up a question. So, how do you think that's going to benefit instead of having the 4 different region, whatever, and it's all going to be Indiana?
I think it's going to be great. I mean, less travel. I think
it's going to give you for better basketball.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I do too. Well, just like we saw. Well, just like we saw in the bubble.
Yep.
You're not going to have all those fans there. The shooting's going to be a tons better. I think it's good. Now I don't know I haven't heard about the scheduling, what they're doing, and everything like that.
Yeah.
I'm all for 9 o'clock till 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm just that's fine with me.
Just give me, feed me basketball. That's all I ask. I'll figure that out.
Because really, it's just the first weekend that it's a headache because it's all those teams, and then the second week, So kudos, because I felt like we're missing something because of last year. We're heading for a great NCAA tournament last year.
Oh yeah,
and then COVID hit, and then. I'm still mad that they didn't get it in. I'm just like, come on.
Last year was going to be good, man. It was going to be good.
Yep, Gophers are going to take it all last year, and that was good to So, all right. So as we're wrapping up the show, any final thoughts before we touch on our ad again? Jay, we'll go with you. Any final thoughts?
Yeah. My final thoughts are that we definitely need to change. You already know where I'm going to. We definitely need to change this college football stuff. We can't have no more of this Ohio State Notre Dame bullshit BS going on.
This is a kid's show, Jay.
I'm glad you caught that.
No more of that stuff going on.
Don't pull a Patterson for the Chicago Bears, all right?
Yeah.
We're on live TV here.
Yeah.
But outside of that, man, I'm looking forward to definitely the divisional weeks coming up.
Yep.
And I'm also looking forward to the NFL draft. I know it's a little bit, we still got a little bit of time, but I'm actually yeah. I'm looking, I need to see the combine first and the Senior Bowl.
Oh,
so maybe that'll be a topic for next week is start breaking down some of the prospects. So how about you, Trey? What do you got going on, or what do you expect going on? Your final thoughts.
For once, I finally agree with Jay. We need to expand that. We need to do something to expand these playoffs because it's starting to get ridiculous. Like, there's no reason not to have all these teams. There's no excuses anymore, NCAA or presidents, whoever's in charge of this. They just need to get it done. Actually, I'm excited. Conference play, man. I like NBA basketball because NCAA basketball kind of like touch foul. But now, of the last couple of years, they're starting to let them play a little bit more, and you're seeing a lot more shot making and stuff like that. And it's actually more fun to watch, and especially when you get into conference play, like the Big 12, the Big 10. Sleeper, the SEC has some pretty good teams this year. Alabama's not even ranked, and I think they're the second best team in the SEC this year.
Especially conferences that are already known to play rough.
Yes. So I'm excited for conference play. We're winding down there, and then tournament starts, and it's all speed ahead, man. It's a good time to be alive. It really is. You got NFL playoffs going on right now. You have basketball going on. I feel like March Madness, when we get to March, it kicks off everything sports related for like the whole rest of the year.
Yeah, it's the spark. Yep.
Yeah, because you got March Madness, you have the Masters, and then you have baseball starting up, and then you have
the draft is right around. Free agency starts right after.
No, but I'm with you guys. I mean, these conference games are going to be on fire, I think. I think we're going to see some great basketball going into February and setting up for March Madness. I also want to see, like Trey, he's hoping for Texas to, be his final saving grace of the sports year. I hope the Golden Gopher hockey team keeps going the way they're going. I mean, that's got to be my final saving grace. I hope the basketball team Gophers do good too, but we know how they always kind of explode when it comes to conference play. So, all right. With that being said, Trey, how can our lovely listeners win our free T-shirt before we go? One more time.
Oh, I thought you were kicking us off the show. All right.
We'll do the T-shirt first.
Our lovely listeners, man, all you got to do is be part of the show like Madison, Will, all these other people, Tim. All you got to do is watch any of our shows on our network, comment. Whoever has the most comments at the end of the month gets a free Awesome All Sports All Play Network T-shirt. And then if you get here too scared or you just want to watch the back, eat popcorn, watch the show, watch me and Jay go at it and see how delusional he is. Just kidding. But no, if you just want to sit back, watch, see, you don't want to comment, whatever, just contact any one of your favorite analysts or any analysts on the show, and we'll hit you up with it.
Guys, save your money. Just get in the comments in here and blow it up and let Trey know that next year Ohio State is not getting none of this BS. They're not going to slide by. No more sliding by.
Ohio State's not even going to get in the playoffs next year. That's my prediction.
Alrighty.
That's more like it.
So,
because man, you're losing everybody.
You know what? We didn't even get to see the Jordan versus the game this year, because the freaking Michigan and Ohio State didn't play.
Yeah, because you're Michigan Wolverines. Because they didn't want to play because they didn't want Ohio State to make it Big Ten championship.
That's how Harbaugh got an extension.
All right. So, if you guys are joining us tomorrow, we got a great debate with Nate the Great against I think both
Brother.
I think the brothers. I think it's going to be a 3-way dance tomorrow. Jay,
Yes,
I know between us three, you were the only one that won your debate. So
I'm
good
gonna
luck
take
to you.
Jock Talk,
First
we are
off-
going to the championship.
Good. I hope you do because I feel like
Yes.
I got shafted
Well,
on mine.
I think I kind of got shafted too, especially when my competitor said that he lost. So, but anyways, Jay, you make Jock Talk proud and go and get that. This
Jay had an easy one. He had Freddie. It's your delusion.
well, yeah,
Hey, Freddie talked
yeah,
himself out of it.
but now he's got the defending champ. So, but anyway, so we're signing off till next week. Nate, thank you for what you're doing behind stage. Good luck tomorrow in your debate. Jay, good luck in your debate when it's coming up. And we'll see you next week on Tuesday. So, peace out, guys.
Peace.
So long.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making the plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the diamond in the lane. Variety, topics, never the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so type the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.